Mark Rogers TV and SEC Breakdown, bringing in Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama right there in Tuscaloosa to help us sort through the Tim Williams situation. It was reported earlier today that the Alabama linebacker had been charged with carrying a pistol without a permit. That was the original news that came out of Tuscaloosa, that the incident report shows that campus police arrested Williams on the misdemeanor charge at about 1 a.m. on Thursday morning in his vehicle. Stephen's very close to the situation, close to the Alabama football team, covering them each and every day. So, Stephen, I'll let you take it from here and in regards to a more clear explanation of what transpired.
Well, what transpired, Mark, I was actually talking with a lot of people I know that's inside the program. What they told me on the night before, we're talking about Wednesday night, Tim Williams at a party, came back from the party, was going to a grocery store to pick up some things, and police department roll up casually, scent of marijuana coming from the car, the pistol on the bottom of the driver's seat, kind of similar to the Cam Robinson, Hootie Jones situation during the yard. Cam Robinson, Hootie Jones back at home in Monroe, Louisiana. They smell marijuana coming out of the car. They recognize the pistol underneath Cam Robinson's seat. We know how that went. Did belong to Cam, and the charges were later be dropped and both guys playing. In this sense, kind of the same ordeal. The pistol in question does belong to Tim Williams. He has it registered, got it registered in Louisiana. Tim Williams, a native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We understand the gun laws in Louisiana are not different from the so registered. He did provide the law enforcement with not just the permit, but also receipts of the purchased gun. So it's his gun, purchased by him. He provided receipts, documenting the information as well as the gun permit. The marijuana in question, all his friends that was in the car with him. The friend confessed up to it, took ownership of the weed in question. So that's not on Tim Williams' conscience. This is a case of wrong place, wrong time. Should have not have had the gun in plain sight. We, as a part of the American Amendment laws, the right to bear arms in the Constitution, but should not have had plain sight. Gun was in plain sight. And of course, anything that at 2 o'clock in the morning that gets a lot of people suspicious, that gets a lot of people up in concerns, especially Nick Saban, the type of coach that doesn't like these things going around in his particular program. So Coach Saban handling this internally, which would mean probably at this point be under indefinite suspension watch, indefinite suspension as more things start to unfold. But there will be no charges brought against him since he does have the receipts for the gun. The permit is in place. He did provide the law enforcement with documentation so they know, and the marijuana in question belonging to a member of his entourage who took up for that.
Okay, so basically Tim Williams acted out of ignorance and not knowing the local laws versus the laws back home in terms of carrying a firearm and the permit. And then also it could be raised into question the company that he's keeping, but it's nothing illegal, certainly hanging out with his buddies at 2 a.m. So your thought is probably a 1-game suspension here?
1-game suspension. Will more than likely not play against Kentucky due to the fact that comes 2 days before the game. So Saban and the coaching staff is going to evaluate the information. Will not play against Kentucky. Definitely will be able to see him, Arkansas, throughout the murderous stretch due to any charges brought up against him since he acted responsibly in providing the permit. If there's no permit on the gun, if there's no receipt as to him purchasing the weapon, then we talk about something more different. But provides the documentation, in him purchasing the item in question, and then with his friend taking up for him where the marijuana comes into play. The charge is brought up, but once again, wrong place, wrong time. Got to be more careful in these type of situations, understanding that these are 18 to 22-year-old. Mistakes do happen, but you got to be a little bit more conscious of the fact that you're in a program that's very highly respected. Have fun. You're going to have moments where you're going to go out, party, be with friends. Being mindful and conscientious of the situation and where you are also very much so important. But this will be one of those cases where Saban handles it internally. There will be intact for the Kentucky game. So Arkansas throughout, you can expect to see Tim Williams.
All right, Stephen. So who's going to pick up some valuable playing time in place of a player who's one of the premier pass rushers in college football?
Rashaan Evans. This could be a huge game for him against Kentucky. Here's a guy that was the #1 outside linebacker recruit coming out of Auburn in 2014, a guy that has shown flashes of how great he can be on the edge. Jeremy Pruitt has been working with him as both an inside and outside rusher. So a good opportunity for Rashaan Evans. Also, Christian Miller, somebody that's been starting to, I guess, show that next wave of pass rushers on this team. Chris Miller, good size, can edge as well. Also, Anthony Jennings, somebody that was a recruit when he came in that 2015 recruiting class, is really starting to burst a little bit. So I look at Rashaan Evans, Anthony Jennings, Christian Miller, some valuable playing time. But with the likes of having guys like Reuben Foster and Ryan Anderson, and of course, the whole gamut of linebackers that Saban recruits at this particular University of Alabama, a big detriment seeing Tim Williams miss this game.
Tim Williams likely out against Kentucky. Not extensive, though, in regards to the violations or the suspension. Should be back for the Arkansas game the next week. Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama. Stephen, you cannot imagine the value that you bring us in regards to these kind of situations and just overall in analyzing Alabama football. So we appreciate your time, sir.
No problem, Mark. Thank you.